Today's Science Show is about nature all around you and your neighbours, young and old, doing remarkable things. First stop here in Kiama, New South Wales, in a shed full of boats. Ron Kelly over there is 77. And I haven't asked Linnell Johnson her age, but she used to be in the ABC and work with Ray Martin. They're both making the first bigger electric boats. The outboard motor industry worldwide is worth about $9 billion a year now, and soon maybe up to $12 billion. Linnell, what over there is that boat?
That is actually a Pride Cheetah. It's an older boat, about 14 feet, and it's been converted to be the first electric runabout in Australia.
And when did that happen?
It's happening now. It has a 15 kilowatt engine on the back. It's in a 30 horsepower frame, and we're converting that to forward controls, and we've built a battery box to contain the lithium-ion portable batteries that go in.
Where'd you get the batteries from?
We get them custom made in China. The engines we make here from components that are all over the world, but the lithium-ion batteries, and these are all 96 volt, which is not a common voltage, and so it's very specialised to get the battery management systems. Petrol or internal combustion engines are polluting, they are noisy, and they're not the future. So just like electric vehicles are starting to come into people's consciousness as a way to mitigate climate change and also have an amazing experience. I mean, if you've driven an electric or hybrid car, if you're lucky enough to have sat in a Tesla, the experience is so much better than a petrol engine, and this is the same. It makes boating much more pleasant for the user, as well as a tremendous environmental impact effect.
Well, some people like to go chug-chug or just meow on the water, don't they, as well?
Well, they do, and obviously there's people we won't convince. However, there's a lot of people who find that, particularly sailors, they've been out on a lovely day sailing and then they've got to put a noisy engine on as opposed to keeping quiet. There's fumes, and people have died from petrol fumes. And then, of course, there's the marine life.
Well, let me talk to Ron about how come he is skilled enough to be able to do this.
Well, it's more about getting it right. There's plenty of people who are doing it, but you can't buy one. They haven't reached the commercial situation where we have. We've got a full range of 5 motors that all perform creditably.
Yeah, but Ron, how come you are skilled to do it?
Well, I did when I left school. I did what the thing was to do then, is if you can get a trade. So I decided I'd be an automotive engineer. So I worked in Bateman's Bay forestry workshop. I did my automotive engineering course, 4-year course in Bomaderry. And in those days, of course, you had to do everything. Cars were developing very quickly, but it was all direct current. We had generators, not alternators, and all those sort of things. And we had to be auto electricians as well as engine reconditioners.
So here you have 6 boats or more, and you've got the first one in Australia over there, and you've got some which rather more supercharged, I can see.
Yeah, well, this one's that's a jet ski. I've started on that. The engine.
How fast will that go?
Well, we're expecting it to go at about 100 k's.
How do you charge these batteries?
Just with a simple battery charger. There it is there.
How long does it take?
Well, 2 to 3 hours. It depends on how low the charge is on the battery.
So you do it overnight?
No, you just do it when you need to do it.
When you need to do it.
You can do it any time. The secret is we use the top range in the battery. So we haven't got to start right from scratch. It's not a dead battery.
Yeah. But hang on, I am inept. So I take one of your boats, I go out to the middle of the lake, and I leave something on which shouldn't be on, and it goes flat. What do I do next?
Well, the thing is that you can't do that because, well, here's the motor here. You've just got that switch there, and you turn this throttle control. That's it. You can't leave anything on because there's nothing really to leave on, and if you left that on, that one switch, it'd still take weeks to use up any charge at all.
So you can't go flat?
No, you can't really go flat by error.
And what if it's just a glitch? Because, when it comes to people like me, if there's a machine that can go wrong, it will go wrong. So what do you do if you're out in the middle of the lake and something needs to be fixed?
Well, the same as you do with your petrol motor when you're out in the middle of the lake and something needs to be fixed.
You grab some oars.
Yeah, that's right.
Let me go to Lynelle and ask her about the way in which there might be an interest. Have you had many people call up and say, how about it?
I get an inquiry about every 2 days from our website, but the really big indicator for us was in Queensland. We went up and launched officially in June at the Sanctuary Cove International Boat Show, and we had a stand there, and we were 16 deep for 4 days. That's the level of interest. Now, these people are at the early days of looking. Many of them have never seen an electric outboard, and they're only used to the little trolling ones, not these powerful proper replacements for horsepower ice engines. But the feedback was amazing. And we also did a trip to Queensland, and we, through Facebook, organised for people who were interested in test driving them, because I wanted real life feedback. And again, we were amazed. They were so blown away, I think, by the ease of operation and the power that they had. That was a really good indicator that this is going to take off.
So when is it going to take off? What's your planning so far?
Okay, well, we are selling direct to the end user. We're packaging them up and sending them anywhere in Australia. So early days and small. Now, batteries are the only limitation. However, we have managed to do what we call a typical boating outing for every engine, and we've packaged up the batteries that way. So you can buy more batteries if your pockets are deep enough, but we are just saying, look, if you want a typical 2 or 3 hour boating outing, this is the engine, this is the battery you should buy.
Now, I can't help noticing that here we are in your workshop and there's just the two of you. You're not a major industry. And we're talking about what is a big idea, just as the same as electric cars might be a big idea. What's going to happen? How do you scale up from this?
Right. Well, you've got to remember we're scaling too. So at the moment, approximately 30,000 outboard engines are sold in Australia every year. 1% of that market is 300 engines. We can easily cope with that. And we believe that because of the costs, upfront costs involved, the engines themselves aren't that much more expensive than a 4-stroke with electric start. But you do have to buy your batteries up front. Because of those upfront costs, we think that 1% of the market is a realistic target. We've also been getting a lot of inquiries from the South Pacific, where the islands are not only very worried about climate change and have lots of old 2-strokes, which we can retrofit, but also fuel is very expensive over in the islands. So we were talking to Solomons, where it's 85 Solomon dollars a litre, which means a typical boat outing for them for transport was about $600 Solomon, which is about $250 Australian dollars. So when you start to look at those huge fuel costs over there, there'll be a way of us then setting up distributors who retrofit old engines, and that will give us more volume because other people will be fitting them to old legs.
Now, you told me in the beginning you're just about the only outfit in Australia. What about the rest of the world? What are they doing?
All right, so electric boats are in their infancy. There are some makers. There'd probably be 10 or 15 makers now in the world. Most of them have concentrated on lower kilowatt because of the battery limitations. There are a few now doing higher kilowatt engines. The first ever e-regatta in the world was held in Venice this year, and there's a electric boat awards called the Gussies, where they put up their boats. So it's starting to happen, but it's very, very early days, and we're one of the few people working in the larger kilowatts.
Are you doing it mainly for the good of the world or also to make a living?
Well, we'd like to make a living, but I'm not going to lie there. But we're both older now, so therefore we are more motivated by shifting the dial. And also the sheer pushback that you get. I get trolled all the time on social media by people who love petrol, noisy engines. So there's a little bit of triumph around knowing that eventually we'll have to persuade them.
You've been in the trade a long time, and normally, perhaps, around this age you'd be thinking more of a gentle life, taking it easy. Are you sometimes a bit nervous about what's going to happen next?
I've always been a pretty adventurous person. I've done 2 Sydney to Hobarts on my own yacht. I've raced surf boats. I used to build surf boats and surf skis, and I have had large businesses which have been exciting to say the least.
Well, Lynelle, when is that first boat going to go into the water?
It's not the first boat. We've had quite a large range of sea trials with other boats, including ribs, inflatables, tinnies and little displacement boats. But for the runabout, which is a pretty exciting prospect, the next 2 weeks, it will be underwater and we will be testing and drawing and decibel testing. And then the jet ski you see in front of us, we've got that planned for sea trials in spring.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Lynelle Johnson of E-Class Outboards in Kiama, New South Wales, with engineer Ron Kelly, another example perhaps of what could be a mega industry in the regions. They tell me that many folk worry about the price and the travelling range of e-boats, but that's been sorted, says Lynelle. So as climate looms ever more worryingly, here's yet another answer in the works.